Good morning. Good morning. As you can see here, my name is Andrea Vetos. I am the Director of Operations for SilverStar Car Wash. Based here in Sioux Falls, I have the pleasure every day to work with team members across our soon-to-be 22 locations. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about our culture of growth and investment. So I'm going to start off by describing a job to you, and then I'm going to ask you when I'm done with that description to give me a show of hands if you'd want to work here. This workplace is fast-paced, inspirational, second chances, opportunity, growth, fun, family, collaborative, rewarding, professional, and it's been described as a great place to work. So, as I said, by a show of hands, I want to see who would want to work for a workplace that the employees describe that way. Humor me? Now, what if I told you that you had to work for a car wash? Show of hands. Fewer hands, right? That's exactly what I expected, but why? I think it has to do with the way people envision a car wash business. You're probably picturing something a little bit like this. The car washes that I went to when I was a kid. You're imagining maybe a self-serve car wash where you pull in, you wash it yourself, you make a big mess, and you leave. Or maybe these other photos where it's a little bit grimy, grungy, dead-end job, probably low wages, if there's any staff at all. But at SilverStar, working for a car wash looks a little bit like this. A little different, right? You're going to see clean, bright facilities staffed by numerous smiling, friendly faces in clean, crisp uniforms, and opportunities here to work alongside your leaders, to jump out and work in a classroom setting, to attend an awards ceremony. There's a lot going on in these photos, but ultimately at SilverStar, we want to be more than. We have continuously revised, created new versions of what our vision as a company looks like, but we've always tried to be more than just a car wash. And I think there probably are a lot of businesses in this room and in this city that are in the same boat. You may have a business or work for a business that is not glamorous or flashy or something that you would traditionally consider for a career. But what sets you apart? I know all of these businesses, including SilverStar, have something that sets them apart. So why do people want to work for you? What if you could be more than just a car wash, more than just a bank, more than just a restaurant, more than just blank? I'm going to challenge you as I talk here to change your vision. I want you to stop looking at the companies around you and maybe the candidates around you if you are a representative of a company. Stop looking at those and assuming that you know what they bring to the table. I want you to look deeper, look below the surface. So for a little bit of context, how did we get here? As I said, many iterations of what we wanted to create. But the biggest thing that I believe that has set us apart and gotten us to where we are today has been our focus on investing in growth and development for our team members. At SilverStar, we really don't think of team members as entry level. We look at levels of opportunity. So why is this an important investment? Why is it worthwhile? First and most importantly, I believe that growing people is insanely rewarding. I put a quote on here from Simon Sinek, one of my favorite authors. Regardless of what we do in our lives, our why, our driving purpose never changes. For me personally, my why is helping people learn and grow. I just happen to do that at a car wash. The photo up here on this slide is from one of our quarterly leadership development events. We take team members from across our brand, our 22 SilverStar locations, from Sioux City, Sioux Falls, Fargo. We bring them here to Sioux Falls for a half day or full day of training and development, but we're really barely talking about car washing at these events. We are talking about leadership skills, soft skills, how to better yourself. At this recent event in August here in Sioux Falls, we talked about making the shift from management to true leadership. We talked about coaching our team members. We talked about accountability tools. What tools do we have in our toolbox every day? And did some role playing. What I see when I look at this photo, though, are a lot of familiar faces with stories. I see when I look at this photo a site manager who I heard is celebrating her 4-year anniversary with SilverStar today, who applied twice to be hired with us in a cashier position 4 years ago. She worked her tail off. She grew into an assistant manager and now a site manager position. And she is that person that I know when something comes up within her car wash tunnel, she is going to have it taken apart and have her hands dirty probably by the end of the day. But self-admittedly, had never touched tools, didn't know what a wrench was prior to joining our company. But with the skills she's learned, was recently able to fix her garbage disposal at home. I also see, when I look at this photo, a district manager with us who came to us 2 years ago with a background in asset protection, of all things, and started as a site manager. Again, worked her butt off and was earlier this year promoted into a district manager position, working with 6 of our locations here in Sioux Falls, and the corresponding site managers and teams involved there. I also see an assistant manager in this photo who started part-time with us as a cashier 7 years ago. She's grown into that assistant manager position, but she's really so much more than that. She is, in many ways, my right-hand person when it comes to dealing with the challenges of our point of sale, when it comes to our grand openings that are now 3.5 hours away in Fargo. She is our boots on the ground in that. So there are 30-plus people in this photo. I could probably go on forever, but I think you get my point. These are real people with real lives and real stories that we are investing in, and they are showing up to learn something new every day. These are people who have chosen a less than traditional career path. I'm going to guess they didn't wake up in the 2nd grade and say, when I grow up, I want to work for a car wash. People that have chosen less traditional careers, including myself, who 8 years ago, at the age of 22, barely out of college, called my mom and said, I know I have this degree in accounting, and I know I have a job at a bank, but I'm quitting that, and I'm going to go work at a car wash that's opening a 2nd location here in Sioux Falls. Super crazy decision, but definitely one of the best career decisions I've ever made. Next reason that I think investing in growth and development of your team members is valuable is that you're going to see better retention and less turnover. Your team members are going to start to see that there are opportunities here in front of them, and they are not going to go chase the greener grass down the road. If you work at a company right now, I don't have to tell you that it can be really difficult to find and retain talent, so this investment is certainly worthwhile. I also think that these team members that are growing and developing from within your company just get it in a way that is more time-consuming and more difficult to get from leaders that you bring in from the outside. At SilverStar, about 75% of our site managers who run our car wash locations day in and day out are internal promotions, and nearly 100% of our leads and assistant managers who support those site managers are internal promotions. So we're doing this every day. I also believe that this camaraderie of a shared past creates strong team bonds. When I know that my leader or my team has done the same things that I have done or I am doing, you just get a tighter knit group than potentially patching something together from the outside. And finally, I think about the generations in the workforce today, the millennials, the Gen Z, who get a really bad rap. I'm a millennial. We hear it all the time. We're lazy, we're difficult. I think these generations are just looking for a career. They're not looking for a job to come and clock in, clock out at the end of the day. They want a career with a company that they think cares about them and the people around them, and that is investing in them so that they can learn something new every day. Solve problems without having to call someone to solve that problem for them. They're looking for a career. They're looking for growth. I also believe that this investment is giving you true leadership from the front lines. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and so I decided, let me just grab 2 photos. That's going to say better than any bullet points can. These 2 photos are from what we just call work nights. But here on the left, this is a few of our team members replacing a main arm bearing on one of our brushes. On the right, they're doing a little maintenance on the conveyor that runs the car wash every day. What I see when I look at these photos, though, is that game-changing leadership from the front lines. Here on the left-hand side, I see one of our maintenance techs working alongside 4 fabulous female site managers who, again, I'm assuming didn't grow up thinking they wanted to work for a car wash. But what's special about these photos to me is generally I will see a text or a Teams message go out saying, I have a project that needs to be done. I need to replace a main arm bearing on a brush. And either I need a little bit of help, I need an extra set of hands, or if anybody wants to learn, I'm happy to walk them through this for future use. And what I always see is groups like this, most of whom are not responsible for the locations or the repairs shown here, that are coming together to learn and grow and to lead with their hands on. And again, that includes me. These are both photos that I have taken as I've been working on these projects with these team members. We really have the mindset that nothing is done without at least one person watching. If you are doing this repair and nobody else was there with you, you missed a big opportunity. So now how? What does this look like at SilverStar? What are the things we have in place that allow us to invest and focus on the growth and development of our teams? It includes, but certainly isn't limited to, training manuals that we have put together over the years for each of our positions. We have a basics manual for a cashier who starts with us. We have a basics manual for a wash attendant that starts with us. And that includes things like, for our wash attendants, prepping the vehicles as they come into our wash, but also includes lot maintenance, cleaning, opening and closing, some basic troubleshooting. The specifics of what we're expecting from those team members are in that training manual laid out for them. From there, they are able to work into the advanced manual. That is preparing them for that assistant manager role and eventually that site manager role. They're taking the basics that they've learned and they are layering on additional knowledge, like learning about some of our sales numbers, some of our statistics we track, learning about our organizational identity and our core values. What does that mean to us? Why is it important? They're learning about some basic repairs, some advanced troubleshooting, problem solving, staffing. We're layering all of this knowledge on top. All of those individual components are a part of our career path posted at each site. There is a poster at each site with every team member's name on it, and they are checking off their boxes as they are learning. Our district managers are also putting together monthly training calendars that gets distributed at the beginning of each month. Those vary by district. They are hosting trainings based on what the needs of their sites within their district are. I recently did some math, and we have hosted for our team members over 450 hours of training opportunities internally for our teams so far in 2023. So certainly a significant investment, but you know about that. If you're a team member, there's a calendar at your location that you know exactly what's going on this month. We're also discussing this at every leadership meeting. When we have a meeting on Monday where our district managers are working with their site managers, they're talking about growth and development. When we have our quarterly development meetings, our get-togethers, we are talking about who's new here, who's developed and grown into coming to this meeting, who's going to be here next quarter. And then in our one-on-ones that our site managers are having with their team members, they are talking and setting goals, where they are in their career path, what they're working on. We also take advantage of external development opportunities. We have a table at this event today that actually has a couple of empty seats because we have team members in Des Moines learning more about our equipment from our manufacturers. So taking advantage of those as well. Hopefully what you're seeing as I'm talking here is that this is a part of our culture. It's a part of our DNA. You're not going to get very far into your first day at SilverStar. You're probably not going to get very far into an interview at SilverStar without hearing about the opportunities that you have to start where you are and to grow into what you want to be. With that, we work really hard to encourage a culture of I don't know. Nobody wants to say I don't know, but it is a really important part of what we try to create. And to be honest, I believe I'm the clear leader of this. You don't know how many times I have said to somebody, that thing that you did last night, never done it. That question you're asking me, no idea, but let's figure out who has the answer. I love to be the queen of I don't know, and I'm going to ask a stupid question. And I think that encouraging the I don't know and the questions is very, very important when you're looking at creating a culture of growth. People need to ask the questions so that they can learn. So now what? If I've convinced you that this is something that you should take back and start investing in at your company, what should you do? First, you are going to encourage learning and growth. And this can be little things. Giving the pat on the back. Giving the high five to somebody who has learned something new that you noticed. Sharing a podcast or a book or a TikTok video or a snippet of a longer YouTube video, whatever it might be. My team knows that probably once a month they're going to get a link to a podcast, and that's just how it is. I think you can also whiteboard it out. So start looking at what steps, what path do team members at my company have to grow? What does that look like? At SilverStar, you're starting as a cashier or a wash attendant. You can grow into a lead position, an assistant manager position, site manager, district manager, director. From there, once you have your path in place, you can start breaking that down into what skills does a team member need to know to be successful in each of those positions? What do I want a cashier at SilverStar to do? Then what do I want an assistant manager to do? What can they do or learn at each level to start preparing themselves for the next level? Then I would highly encourage you to start somewhere. If you are investing in the growth of your team members, there is no better time to start than right now, immediately after you leave this place. Something is better than nothing. We certainly didn't have 4 developed out training manuals when we started getting serious about growth and development a couple of years ago. We started with a whiteboard session and a pretty rudimentary career path and added building blocks on from there. So start somewhere and be honest with your team that this is version 1. We're going to revise this. We're going to create more versions of this vision, but here's what we have right now. You're going to make sure that you ask for feedback. Talk to your team members about what they want. Talk to your team members about what the daily processes look like in these positions. If we have a strong salesperson or cashier, that is the person that I'm calling when I am writing down the process. If I have a strong maintenance tech, that is the person that I'm calling when I am building those maintenance processes. And then as you're distributing it out, you're making sure that you get that feedback and really using it. There's a difference between asking for feedback and saying, that's great, thanks for sharing that, but also then taking that and using it to create the next version. And finally, you're gonna let people know. It's very, very important that the team members within your company know that there are opportunities. At SilverStar, if you are promoted into a higher position, there is probably a photo taken of you, maybe against your will, of you in your work uniform, and it is posted on our internal team Facebook group. That way, our remaining team members can give you accolades for the hard work that you've put in, but it's also reinforcing for everybody else within the company. I want to be an assistant manager, and I see that this person in Fargo was just promoted to an assistant manager, and I'm going to continue to work on what I need to work on. I'm going to speak to my site manager, I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to get that goal next. You can also let people know externally. This is a big part of our recruiting messages. Come work for SilverStar. We're more than just a car wash. We're looking for leaders. We're building leaders. We're helping invest in you. Let people know internally and externally. So with all of that, I just have one final question. Are you making the most of the opportunity you have every day to invest in yourself and the people around you? Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.